Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer League. My name is Arusta, and my co-commentator today is TJ Jal. How are you doing today?
Not too bad, Arista. How about you?
I am doing well. Looking forward to this match. This is a match in the Eastern Palace Division between the Longshots, represented by Tylersalt, which is actually my team, and Will Pulp Head for Food, represented by the Boulder 300. Interesting thing is that Will Pulp Head for Food is actually in third place in the division right now. They're about 9 points back, so they'll need a strong performance in the last couple weeks here, but they are still very much in playoff contention. Unfortunately, we in the Longshots are living up to our name and are Longshots and already eliminated from the playoffs, but it's been fun thus far.
There's nothing wrong with that. It always gives a chance for the team to play spoiler and keep the division even more competitive.
Absolutely. And for those of you just joining in, looks like we're about to get started. This is all dungeons keys, key sanity. So basically, you can see like they just found the big key of Thieves Town, and they will need to complete all dungeons. That does include AGA 1 at some point.
Boulder finds blue mail in the chest at Link's house. That's always nice on an early start. Complete divergence right from the start. This is great. We're going to get a lot of checks real fast, and hopefully they both get something that leads them one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about all dungeons keys is since you're going everywhere, there's a long list of stuff you need. All sorts of big keys, a bunch of small keys. The Swamp Small and the Castle Tower keys in particular can be kind of a pain. So we're going to be probably seeing a lot of checks today.
Definitely. Those Castle Tower keys are typically on the moon, so... Ooh, big key on Lumberjack.
Yeah, that could mean they route in AGA 1 a little earlier than you normally would. Ideally, you like to see seed where you can do AGA 1 as the very last thing. You just, complete Ganon's Tower, which they also have to do. You mirror over real quick, then you just pick up that key. Then you just, do AGA 1 and go right back to the Dark World. With that big key, though, there's a good chance we're going to need that.
Definitely. Always nice to know if you've got to get in early, and we've got an early Moon Pearl at Mushroom Spot as well.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that it looks like the Boulder is going to skip the Lumberjack check, so that's some information that Tyler has that Boulder does not at this point.
And looks like we're skipping an Ice Rod hunt again today, too. Looks like Tyler's going to head over and start clearing Kakariko from the south.
Yeah, and I have to think that was probably a play. If you notice, he has 0 bombs, rather than, trying to hunt down stuff in Kakariko, go this way, farm up a couple from these 50-50 bushes. Oh, wow, and get lucky there.
Definitely lucky. He's going to feel good about that choice. As the Boulder comes in from the north side of Kakariko, he's going to show us Blind's Hut first.
Yeah, and it looked like there was just a either a heart or a red rupee. I kind of blinked there over on race game, so they clearly won't be getting that.
Ooh, early book in Blind's Hut. And an early Turtle Rock Small as well.
Yeah, it is worth noting that you do need at least 3 keys to clear or to get through Turtle Rock, 4 if you need to full clear it by getting Lava Chest. But with an early key like that, it's possible you might need to do a double dip or something like that.
Definitely could be one of those seeds where there's progression in an early chest in Turtle Rock. Chicken Hut yields more explosions for Tyler.
Yeah, which this early in the seed, you're really not that disappointed to see that, because you do still kind of need bombs at this point. And an early sword on the Boulder side, that is very nice to have.
And an early bow. Seed's being generous off the start. I'm guessing that means it's going to turn evil later.
Yeah, that is the way it normally goes, isn't it?
Definitely. Also pulled the Meyer bag out of the well, so it's one less to hunt for later on.
And it is worth noting, I don't believe either runner is going to have the money for the bottle merchant, so that's going to be sitting out there. The game does assume you can always get rupees, so if that's something key, they might have to make a special trip just for that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's one of those things that sits in the back of their mind and doesn't slip it. I know that's an easy check that I tend to forget in all dungeon seeds, or all dungeon keys.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sick Kid or Lazy Kid, whoever you want to call him, just has a small key to Ganon's Tower. Those are nice to have, but if you're getting up to Ganon's Tower and already have what you need, you actually don't need any sort of keys to get through it, because there is one under the skull, and then you just go straight to the back. However, it is worth noting in this mode that stuff for the pendants or potentially your castle tower smalls can all be in Ganon's Tower, including the Ganon's Tower big chest. That's a check that people will often forget in this sort of mode and can really, really hurt people.
Definitely. Seen that sting a few people before. And as I said, those castle tower keys, you never know where they are. The validation chest is always my favorite place to have one. It's like the Boulder is going to complete race game, or is he just blind checking it? Looks like
I think he was blind. He was blind checking it, but I think once he saw that was $20, he went ahead and thought it was worth it, because does still need money for bottle merchant, potentially Zora, opening pot at some point, etc.
Definitely. Seed's been generous with a few items and keys so far, but very stingy on the rupee count. Tyler's going to clear out Mini Moldorm, give us our first check here.
Yeah, and I believe Tyler did skip these checks we're about to see in the dam and the flooded treasure here on Boulder's side. But gets paid off with boots. Ooh, that's a nice early find.
Definitely. Especially in a long seed like this, walking everywhere just seems to take forever. Ooh, a glove in the dam.
Yeah, with the way Tyler went to Mini Moldorm first, and then here, I wonder if we might see him play this out to Agina's cave afterwards, because I think he does have the book as well.
Yes, he does, and definitely one way to do it. Even the front of, even check the desert torch and check the one chest if need be, depending on what they find. Boulder's about to go over to Mini Moldorm and get his boots. He'll be quite happy on that check.
Absolutely, and it is worth noting that while you do need a small key to check a few of the chests in the front of Desert, if you really want to pay this off, you could go a little risky and actually steal the small key from the back. That's a play that people will often think is kind of shaky because, you know, if it turns out there's nothing in the front, you've basically committed yourself to finding one more item required, as opposed to potentially being able to skip that desert small.
Yeah, most definitely. It's one of those gambles that can sometimes pay off and really bust a seed wide open for you early. First, like I said, as you said, it's all dungeons. Everything must fall anyway, but And we have flippers on the desert ledge. The seed is really giving our runners a lot of options of checks nice and early.
Yeah, and I like the little decision there while the bomb was going off to take that opportunity to open up the rupee cave, because that is something the Boulder does need still money for bottle merchant and potentially something else.
Yeah, it's I like that move as well. Definitely a smart play. Tyler finds 50 in the chest.
Yeah, and he also did find the Swamp Small in there, which is very nice to find, because that's one of those keys that you can't get anywhere in Swamp without it. Swamp has a lot of checks, especially since he's about to get flippers whenever he heads over to Desert.
Our waterfall fairy had the big key to ice. Tyler picks up his swim toes and he'll save and quit. Boulder's put out a really nice water walk here, doing really well with it. What does the hobo under the bridge have for us today? The big key to Turtle Rock. Nice early find. You don't have to commit to dipping Turtle Rock without it, at least. Where do you think this seed is pushing him to go, Arista?
I think you could probably, we'll see where Boulder plays this out. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to go up to Death Mountain, maybe, get those checked, at least the west checks there. I mean, also with the bow, you can't do Armos, of course, because you don't have the big key, but you can at least do the front of several checks in the front. But I like Boulder's play here to do the back of escape, because that's 3 super easy checks, super quick checks.
Yeah, very smart play as well. As Tyler comes over to the far side here, he's going to check Ice Rod Cave. Going to enjoy his find there. Is that the big key to Skull Woods in the back?
It was, and an interesting thing is that the big keys that are optional in a seed like this are Skull Woods, Ice Palace, and potentially Swamp are all skippable if you don't need anything in the big chest. We already have 2 of those, so that big key that's on Lumberjack at this point has a really good odd to be something we actually need.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna be definitely sitting in the back of Tyler's head right now at this point. That's knowledge he's sitting on the Boulder head does not have yet.
Yeah, and as we're about to see some duplicate checks here real quick, just as a quick, in case anyone joined us a couple minutes late, this is a league match between the Longshots and Will Pulp Head for Food in the Eastern Palace Division. We have the Longshots, because I'm actually Tyler's teammate, are actually already eliminated from playoff contention. Will Pulp Head for Food are in 3rd place. They're a few points behind, but with a strong performance these last couple weeks, they very well could sneak their way in. My name is Arusta. My co-commentator today is TJ Jall. We have Yoinker's wife is doing the hard work and the real work of doing all the tracking, keeping us in line. And Will WC is helping to restream here on the ALTTPR League 2 channel.
While we're on that, let's, if you like what you see so far, if you're coming in, give these runners a follow, as well as all of our team involved here to put this on for you so you can have some entertainment for a few hours. Is Tyler going to go to do the front of escape while he's here?
Kind of looks like it, and also looks like Boulder is going to do what I had talked about a few minutes ago with stealing that key from the back. Also going to eat some laser beams for free health refill, which makes some sense.
Yep. Nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned death warp. I kind of like this play of stealing the key. It does commit you to have to find the key, but it is two quick checks here at the front that are just done and out of your mind for later on in the seed. Tyler finds the hammer in the first chest in front of escape.
Yeah, and that is a big find for Tyler because now he does have Dark World access. Obviously, you're going to go ahead and play this out. Might even decide to play it out to Dark Cross because that's a check you can easily isolate. But then afterwards, I would expect to see him go to the Dark World pretty quick.
And I see that this stealing the key has paid off a bit for the Boulder as he finds the flute on the right side of desert. Interesting that runners have some divergence, but they're both finding items that can move them on just a little bit further.
Yeah, absolutely. And Days Cloud actually pointing out something in chat is that with that death, the Boulder had also, created a save and continue point. So if he'd end up finding absolute garbage on the right side, could have just reset so the key wouldn't, he could reuse the key.
I hadn't even thought of that. Thanks, Days Cloud, for pointing that out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the flute, he's going to keep it and just look for the desert small. But had he found garbage, he could have gotten away with it. So that's a very nice thing to point out. Thank you for that.
Tyler will brave the early dark rooms to get us our dark cross checks. That doesn't end up slipping in the back of your mind. I like this play. Really gets it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, even more than slipping from your mind, just the fact that, if you do the front of escape and then you do the back of escape with the glove, it could be very easily one of the things that you just never really get a good opportunity to go to.
I didn't actually see what his check was in Dark Cross.
So in Dark Cross, Tyler got a red rupee, so that's not a big deal on his side. And Boulder finally showing us the bottle merchant after doing his flute, and that was just a heart container. So it's something that I'm sure they'll both be glad to have, especially this early in the seed whenever they buy it, but not at all necessary, of course.
Tyler clean up the back of escape and get his big key. 300 rupees for his trouble. The old man just with a piece of heart. Nice spin speed on the Boulder side.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was another big key on the top of Spec Rock, which they obviously can't get now, but it's good to have, or good to have that knowledge. And it looks like Boulder is making an Eastern play. Again, without the big key, he can't do the big chest, and he can't do Armos, but he can get Saha while he's here, and he can also get the rest of the checks in the front of Eastern.
So Tyler's going to... I thought he was going to go right to the Dark World. Are we getting a ped check?
Interesting. I glanced away from the Boulder screen for a sec. Did he talk to Saha to figure out what the green pendant was?
Chat, correct me. I didn't see it myself either. I glanced over at the ped check, but if you did, please update us.
Okay, looks like Tyler was doing the ped check as prereq to entering Dark World here. Makes sense.
No better time to check it, that's for sure. Boulder will be happy to find his hammer now. Open up the Dark World to...
Yeah, and it is worth noting that since Boulder has already done the back, when he finishes up here, he will know there's an item in Dark Cross, so I would be surprised if he doesn't at least give it a try to go through there.
No, definitely seems like the play. Make sure that it's all done. Our early Dark World checks, the chess game and the brewery haven't yielded much, just a map and 5 rupees. C-shaped house gives us a small key to Mire.
Yeah, and that is one that's actually, if you route Mire correctly, you don't actually need to enter with any small keys, but it tends to make your routing a lot easier and a lot cleaner if you go in with one that you can skip around how you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to be able to go in with one. Small key to ice in the first chest of Thieves Town.
Looks like Boulder is going to enter the Dark World on the Hype Cave entrance, which is a play a lot of people like because it gets you the 5 items right then, and then in the chance you get Glove or Mirror or something, can make your routing through the Dark World a lot easier.
Definitely, I like that check into the Dark World as well. And one of our elusive Castle Tower keys in Hype Cave. And a lamp and a Master Sword. Well, the Hype Cave lives up to its name today.
Yeah, and the Boulder also, our tracker pointed out and let us know that Boulder had not talked to Saha for the green pendant and then also walked past the bomb shop right there. So right now we don't actually know what's what.
Stumpy has our almighty bug net for the seed. Nice to have early in case you find with an early bottle in case the seed is not very friendly with hearts early on.
Absolutely, and you see on Tyler's side gonna prep up and probably drink that red potion because even with blue mail, these grasshoppers are surprisingly dangerous.
Definitely, and Thieves Town is one of those dungeons that you tend to, especially in randomizer, you tend to play almost on autopilot. You forget that if you go in there with lower mail, that they're not exactly nice. Where do you think the Boulder is going to head?
I was actually just about to say before he did, I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing the same thing Tyler's doing right now. So there's a lot of checks in Village of Outcasts. Maybe you even want to route in the front of Skull Woods because you do have the big key, so you can get the big chest and basically clear most of that. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, I think. The one thing, however, to note is that Tyler does not have a small key, and actually neither of them does, so he will be leaving the item in the big chest here in Thieves Town.
That was a nice blind fight on Tyler's side, opting to go for Sword Slashes, not try to keep him on script, but handled it nice and easy.
Yeah, and that Desert Palace small is a good thing for Tyler, because what he's going to do now, I'm sure, is probably just route in the rest of the Southern Dark World, so he'll get his lamp, and then having that Desert small is probably going to, since he can now full clear Desert, probably drive him over to do that sooner rather than later, so he can get that flute and not end up too far behind.
Definitely, and worth noting that it was our first dungeon completed in this seed at roughly 25 minutes, so that's always nice to see too. Nice to see that they are able to move through dungeons and not running around for the first 45 minutes not being able to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And hello, welcome to our raiders from watching the ALTTPR League main channel. Glad to see you all here. This is a race between Tylersalt, representing the Longshots, and the Boulder, representing Woolpulphead for Food in the Eastern Palace Division. Woolpulphead for Food is actually still in playoff contention if they have a strong showing in these last couple weeks. They're currently in third place in the division. The Longshots, which I am actually a member of, are unfortunately eliminated, but we still get the opportunity to play spoiler. My name is Arusta. My co-commentator is TJ Jall. We've got Yoinker's wife doing the hard work of doing the tracking, and Will WC is helping run our restream on the ALTTPR League 2 channel here.
So Tyler's going to clear out his hype cave now. I wonder if this will push him in the desert direction.
Yeah, I mean, without any pod keys, pod is a really kind of a shaky play because you can do basically 3 checks if you go through the Bowlock side. Actually, you can do a little more than that, but it's still a lot of commitment for having 0 keys and not being able to really do a whole lot there.
Definitely, and if it does push him towards desert, let's not forget the ABCD, always be clearing dungeons. We get our bond vendor check, and we find out that Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace are 5/6 crystals today.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that is knowledge that the Boulder does not have. Additionally, the other knowledge that Tyler has that Boulder does not is that there is a big key on the Lumberjack. We, of course, don't know what that is, but at this point, the majority of the remaining big keys are things that you're going to need at some point. So that could be big knowledge for Tyler to end up going and doing that sooner.
Looks like Tyler's going to make the eastern play before he at least checks Sahasrah's closet before he heads to the desert.
Yeah, and the one thing to note there, which Days Cloud pointing out in chat, is that when Tyler went up to the pyramid, he didn't play it out to catfish, which basically at this point, since he's already done most of Zora, except for Zora himself in the ledge, he's already done Waterfall Fairy. It might be a while before that check is kind of isolated. Maybe he's hoping to find Mirror so he can route it in with his Zora area, but that might be something, if there's something there, that he'll put off for quite a while.
Yes, definitely. He did chat with Sahasrahla and noted that Hera is our green pendant today.
And with the blue pendant being on Thieves Town, which Tyler actually already has as well, that means that, almost all the remaining dungeons are crystals. Of course, in this mode, it's not that big of a deal, except insofar as that Ganon's Tower, when it opens up with 7 crystals, might have something you need for your pendants.
Yeah. Fortunately, if it does play out that way, at least that perhaps if it's for a green pendant, Hera's right there. Be a quick mirror at that point, hopefully, for these runners. Small key on bumper ledge on the Boulder side.
Yeah, and that's an interesting find, because we do have the Swamp Small already, which is one of the most annoying ones to get. But, of course, we are always looking for those 2 Castle Tower Smalls, which could be basically anywhere.
We have found one, so we were just on the hunt for the second one. But as you said, they could be anywhere. Ooh, Titan's Mitts in Skull Woods. So Boulder goes through one of everybody's favorite rooms in this game.
A very nice use of the Ice Rod, though.
Gives us another key to GT. Once again, as you said, you don't technically, if there's nothing you need in there, you really don't need to find any, but always nice to have them early so you don't have to end up hunting for one if that situation does come up.
Absolutely, and looks like he's setting up the bomb jump here. Nicely done. For a map, unfortunately, but
still very well executed. Tyler went through Eastern, didn't really find anything of note. Does this push him towards the desert now? Or back to the Dark World?
Looks like he might be going back to the Dark World here. Which is not going to be an empty check, because he will get Mitts here, of course, but the one thing that's unfortunate on Tyler's side is that the more stuff he finds that's not driving him to desert, the longer he might end up putting off getting that flute.
Where do you think the Boulder is going to head next?
I don't know. Boulder has a lot of options open here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him... Looks like he might be going through King's Tomb. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him start doing... Well, he can't. Unfortunately, he can't get to Death Mountain he can't get to East Death Mountain here. Otherwise, that would be screaming, since he hasn't touched Death Mountain at all, and he could basically clear all of it with Mitts and the way to get over there. So once he gets Hookshot or Mirror, I can't imagine he will put that off.
No, lots of dense checks on that on that mountain, both light and dark world. Heading to the Mire area.
I like this. This is a play that a lot of runners will do fairly quickly as soon as they get mitts if they have a flute already, because you get the 2 checks here from the Meyer Shed, and you also get that information that we need ether at this point.
Tempered and Samaria in the Meyer Shed. Wow. Looks like that play to Meyer was a great decision.
Absolutely, especially tempered. I mean, Samaria is great because you do need it at some point, of course, but tempered is as well. Not only because you really want it for Ganon because it makes your Ganon fight quicker, but just the amount of game and amount of dungeons you have to go through. Master Sword to tempered is probably the biggest damage upgrade in the game.
Yeah, a boss like Argus comes to mind with the difference between Master Sword to tempered just off the top of my head for sure. The fight goes from well over a minute or so to a minute to the end. Wonder if the Boulder will head up and give us our Catfish and Zora check.
Did show off a very nice piece of tech there. That tree at the bottom of Ganon's, or the Ganon's pyramid here, always has a fairy in it when you dash into it. It's a very nice call here to go ahead and pick it up. It's also, of course, very useful later in the seed when you're at the very end if you take an unfortunate Ganon death or finish up Aga 2 at very low health.
Yeah, definitely. It was something I didn't learn until very recently, so it's been a pleasant surprise for me. Tyler takes the ride from the Wall Master to get back out of Skullwoods a little bit more efficiently without the key to get out of the basement. And we are going to get a pod check on the Boulder side. Do you like this play going into pod with no keys?
I don't love it, but I mean, you do have bow, so you can go through bow locked sides. You can get basically, at least 3 checks, basically 4 to 5, actually 5 checks. So it's not terrible. I mean, it is good item density.
Definitely. Hammer pegs yield bombs on Tyler's side. Tyler's going to grab the Smith and save and quit, bring him back after that. I like that play as well.
I do too, but unfortunately, I mean, Tyler hopefully will find something here because, even just looking at this, the amount of time it's going to take him to run over there, whenever the Boulder decides to do that check, he'll be able to flute right there and make this turn in much quicker than what Tyler's going to have doing.
Just to answer a question in chat, Boulder did not do Catfish either. Boulder went from the pyramid to pod.
And finding Fire Rod here in the front of pod, that's a big find.
Definitely makes another dungeon completable.
And the Thieves' Town's small.
Boulder has lots of directions to can go, but I wonder if that does put it in the back of his mind of heading back there.
Looks like he's fluting over, so I mean, he can go ahead and finish off Mothula here, so maybe he's going to go clear the dungeon, and let's see if he decides to roll the dice and that pod key paying off afterwards. Or excuse me, Thieves Town keys paying off.
Tyler's going to go up and even up his knowledge with the boulder that there is a big key on the top of Spectacle Rock. Boulder pulling that off with just enough magic to finish that room off. I don't believe they have a potion or to refill magic.
No, but I think Boulder does still have the that red potion we got earlier. So can't help, you know, he might not be able to use Fire Rod here, but he will be able to take a bunch of hits if he needs to.
Definitely a nice safety bring in here to this silly moth in this silly room. Makes quick work of him with that tempered sword. Nice fight on the Boulder side.
And getting a crystal for his work there.
Like Tyler's going to take in the lunchbox. See what Purple Chest has for us today. This has to push him to desert after this check, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine you would pick that up if you weren't planning on going to desert afterwards. But I guess not. Oof.
Interesting.
I would assume Tyler's going to pod here because he's already cleared out all this area, so he'll get his Fire Rod. We'll see if maybe he does his catfish check either before or after it as part of this loop.
Interesting to see which direction he takes this as we get our first look at Ice Palace on Boulder side. Always nice coming in here with Savaria in hand.
Yeah, and especially with already having a couple keys, you know, you don't have to worry about accidentally, you know, locking yourself with keys. You can probably even go into the safety room right before the boss if you feel like you're short on magic, all that.
And a nice find in the Pengator room as we find our gold sword. All 4 swords early enough in the seed that they pay off.
Nice icebreaker showing off there. And getting the mirror in payment. That's very nice for him.
Definitely, he's got to feel good about this choice.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, actually, in terms of items, Boulder is really looking for hookshot and then at least ether, potentially a second medallion. Plus, you know, a bunch more keys, but in terms of raw items, that's what he still needs.
And half magic. Ice Palace. Very generous today. Definitely the one non-required item that every runner wants.
Yeah, and it's especially nice to find here in Ice Palace after you do.
Oh.
Yeah, silvers. The nice thing about getting half magic in Ice Palace is it also refills your magic, so let him do Cold Stare even more easily.
Yeah. Tyler picks up his fire rod. He'll get a small key to Thieves Town here in the Stalfos basement. Is Tyler going to go check the Thieves Town big chest?
I would guess, but he's probably also going to clear the back of Skull Woods, of course, while he's here.
Butter Sword and half magic fire rod. The Boulder makes quick work of Cold Stare on each side. Another crystal for his trouble.
So where is Tyler going now? Because right now he's sort of running short of checks if he doesn't... till he decides to do Desert for that flute.
He's going to check the shovel spot. Some bombs for his trouble.
Oh, and our tracker pointing out something that I think we had failed to mention is that Tyler can't finish Skull because he did steal that small key for the front. So he actually is short a small key to open up the back for Moth. Very much thanking Yoinker's wife for keeping us in line here and pointing that out.
Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Zora's trading $500 for another TR small. Always nice to have.
Tyler going to check our autofill today. Just to be. Any guesses on what this big key is, Arusta?
I would love for it to be something like, let's say pod.
Like that guess.
Swamp. That's an interesting one because now Boulder still needs hook shot. But once he finds hook shot, Swamp is fully clearable.
It'd be definitely enticing if he does stumble across the hook shot somewhere up here on the mountain.
Yeah, and even though he doesn't have the big key here to pod or the hook shot to get upstairs, I do like the decision here to check the couple chests, sort of rot them in as part of your Death World, or excuse me, Death Mountain checks here.
Yeah, I like that choice as well on the Boulder side. Tyler visiting Upgrade Fairy, going to get upgrade to his arrows and his bombs and the free refill. Then head into Ice Palace. He is going to enjoy what he finds in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since for him it's going to be tempered, which, as I mentioned earlier, is a huge upgrade in your damage. So that's going to be very, very nice for him for the rest of this dungeon, and really for a while in the seed, since he's got to go to Desert, then to Mire area before he can get his sword from there.
So Boulder is going to give us our first look at Paradox Cave. 7 checks in here. Tyler opting to come into Ice Palace the more conventional way.
Yeah, since he doesn't have that flute, he can't get his Samaria out of Mire Shed, so doesn't have a choice here.
Yeah.
And that is almost certainly why he visited Upgrade Fairy first, just so you've got spare bombs, because going through normally does use up a surprising amount of bombs.
Definitely. It's nice to see both runners use different variations to come through here. Ice Palace Bomb Jump as well as Icebreaker.
Yeah, but as Days Clouds points out in chat, you don't necessarily need to do the Ice Palace Bomb Jump if you come in with all the keys. And I do think I've actually heard, if you're planning on full clearing, which I'm sure Tyler is, not doing the bomb jump can actually be faster, either faster or about the same, depending on how well you execute.
Definitely makes sense to me. We get our first check in Hookshot Cave. Finding out that we need bombos for Turtle Rock. So we are on a double medallion hunt.
And just to note, Drosy1, one of our excellent moderators here in chat, pointing out that I was incorrect there. If you don't have Samaria, IPBJ is definitely faster, primarily because you don't have to spin all the way around to push down the block. So it does make sense that Tyler did it, but not having Samaria is going to make his Ice Palace significantly slower here, since he has to circle all the way around.
Definitely seeing fake powder on the Boulder side with Magic Bat. yielded him a piece of heart.
Yeah, and then looks like he's going to go ahead and turn in his mushroom here, which once you've done the fake powder makes a lot of sense.
Definitely heads up play. Get rid of it now that it's extra point has been taken. Just a map for the troubles, though. Nice bomb jump on Tyler's side. Across the gap and to find his silvers.
I wonder if Boulder, who's going into the Dark World here, might do the Thieves' Town big on his way. I assume he's doing this also for... Nope, looks like he's going straight for Graveyard Ledge here. Tyler, showing off the nice little refill room there. It's most useful if you have if you're short on magic, because there are 3 small magics in there, but it does also have a heart. So, and I apologize, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, it's all good. I'm just saying I like this play on Boulder's side, going to Graveyard Ledge, Thieves' Town, big chest. Yeah, it's all the way in there. So try to clear up the overworld a little bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is one of those checks that, knowing that you couldn't have gotten it the first time you were there, you know the opponent hasn't gotten it either. It's probably one of those checks that, you know, even if you're skipping it, you're probably pretty confident that, hey, my opponent probably skipped this too.
I definitely agree with you on that one, Norista. Is the Boulder going to head up and check the catfish? Very nice cold stare fight on Tyler's side.
Yeah, with half magic being where it was, both runners had a very, very fun time with cold stare.
₹50 from Catfish. Where do you believe the Boulder heads next?
I wonder if you go back to Pod. Well, no, you don't. Where you go is you go to Swamp, because you have 6 clearable chests. You have clearable Swamp, at least the front of it. You hope you find Hookshot here. The other option is you take your one small key to Pod.
Heading to check the Bombos tablet first. Tyler's giving us the Ether tablet check that Boulder's already done, just finding his bombs.
Nothing useful on Bombo's tablet.
Boulder going to check K45.
Yeah, I guess the thought process here, which makes sense, is that this is the closest you're ever going to be to K45 again. Meanwhile, Tyler's going to show us the basement of Harrow, which I don't believe the Boulder did. I believe he just did the first 2 on the first floor and then bailed.
Yeah, no, this is a new check for us. Tyler showing off a coffee break right now.
And this is one nice thing having Mirror and Shovel is that the Boulder can also do, in addition to K45, is basically getting 2 checks for the price of 1 here. Neither of them really pays off, but that is good routing there to get those done, and now you have this entire South Dark World basically done afterwards.
Ooh, Tyler finding Bombos in Hera basement, which we know is one of our required medallions.
It is. Unfortunately for Tyler, since he does not have Samaria yet, he can't try paying that off by doing a good portion of Turtle Rock while he's here.
I wonder if it'll pay off in the end as he works through the seed. You wonder how long it'll be before the Boulder goes back up and checks Hera basement.
I would have to guess it's going to be... I would have to guess at this point, since he's cleared everything else, Boulder wouldn't go up there until he finds either Bombos itself, which we know he's not going to, or Hookshot to do Hookshot Cave, or something like the big key of Hera so we can finish off Hera. I can't imagine he's going to go up there just for Hera's chest.
Ooh, smart play on the Boulder side, going into the early part of Ega Tower and finding the Hookshot in the first chest.
Yeah, and that's really nice because now the Boulder can just go ahead and full clear swamp. Really, I would say the big question on Tyler's side more than anything else is when he's going to find the Desert Palace big key. Because at this point, the amount that he's run around, I assume he's not going to go to desert until he feels like he can clear it.
Definitely seems that way. Red mail on the floating island. That's a nice find. Do you think we find anything in Swamp Aroosta?
I do think we're going to find at least a useful key of some kind. Because we know where one more big key is, though the Boulder actually does not on Lumberjack, but we still need another Castle Tower Small. We still need the Ganon's Tower big. We still need the Eastern big. Still need the Desert big. So I think we're going to find a key in here. What do you think?
I would have to agree with you. I think we'll find a big key that pushes us maybe towards, I'm going to guess maybe the Eastern big key, pushes us in that direction for now. I'm hoping for a Castle Tower key hunt, though. I've got to say that.
The Castle Tower key hunt, then that big key on Lumberjack is also required, so it's really a tight chain of items there.
Yes, that's the one.
Boulder showing off a nice use of the diver down glitch there. Allows you to pick up that key underneath the skull, because it effectively, the game thinks you're on the wrong layer, thinks you end up standing on top of the water. So since the game thinks you're standing and not swimming, you can pick it up. That's why you have to, at the very end, jump out and back in, swim over those blocks. So huge time save, made left side swamp a lot more attractive play than it used to be.
That's definitely for sure. It's a very handy little piece of tech in there. I'm sure all runners that use it must love the ability to have to do it, either with bombs or some Aria.
Yeah, and it looks like Tyler is going to dip the front side of swamp here, and that's unfortunate, because I don't believe the Boulder has actually found anything at all worthwhile in the front of swamp. So Tyler is basically, knowing where that hook shot is, Tyler is going to be committing to a double dip here.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate choice, but while you're in the area, it seems like it's the easiest choice to get. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the best way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just unfortunately for him in this seed, it is not going to pay off. So really at this point, I think what Tyler needs is to find the Desert Palace big sometime very quickly, so it points him over to Desert. That's pretty much the biggest difference in this race right now, is that the Boulder stole the small key from the back in Desert and got fluked because of it. However, Tyler just did the parts of the front you can do without a small key. So that's why it seems like he's avoiding it quite a while, because he's already made a dip in there. So if he dipped without the big key, he'd basically be doing a triple dip.
Yeah, and definitely in a race, you're not going to want to commit to that. That's for sure. Boulder moves along. He's going to give us our first look at Argus for this seed. Gold Sword. It's usually a pretty easy fight.
Yeah, with Gold Sword, you might not want to blink because you might miss it.
Silvers as well. Just like that, the Boulder takes down Argus quick and easy and finds the Cane of Berna for his trouble.
Yeah, which at this point isn't particularly great. It does, with half magic and Gold Sword, it does give you the option to maybe make your Ganon fight a little easier. Or you can also use it for some of the slower rooms in Ganon's Tower, like the Cannonball room, but it's not a huge find for him.
Where does he head from here?
Looks like he is going to Mire to check Checkerboard Cave, which, I mean, I do think makes a lot of sense. You can go ahead and do that. It's one check real quick, and it's also one of those checks if he's trying to figure out where he wants to go next, how much he wants to, does he want to dip part of Pod again? Does he want to dip Eastern? Because I don't believe he went into Eastern itself. you know, that's one of those checks that's nice to do while it gives you a second to think.
Yeah, it definitely knocks it off the list and points you one direction or the other. It looks like we're going to go to East Death Mountain on the Boulder side.
Well, with Hookshot, he might be just coming up here to try to Harapot. You would be abandoning the big chest item, but you can go ahead and do it.
Definitely my mistake. I forgot that he had already cleared the east side of the Death Mountain from the top with the hammer.
So here comes the moment of truth. Does the boulder actually do the basement? Because obviously he doesn't know this, and it's a bit of a time commitment, but that's his entry into Turtle Rock, which, since he does have Samaria and Samaria, he can't get to Trinex with only 2 keys and the big key, but he can do a lot of stuff in Turtle Rock.
Pretty dense check. Boulder forgetting he does not have the big key.
Oh, but that is Ether, so both of our required medallions are in Hera. And it looks like Tyler is going over to Desert finally, so we'll be getting his flute here. Again, it's one of those things that when you decided not to steal the key in the first place, which is a defensible decision, it makes a lot of sense why he did not want to come back here, because basically now he's committing himself to a triple dip since he doesn't have the big key.
Completing Hera 2 gives you the green pendant check, even though technically not logic till we find the big key.
And to answer a question in chat, yes, Boulder has done Thieves Town, and the actual Desert Palace small key was on blind. So effectively what the seed wanted you to do, logically, is do Thieves Town, do blind, get your Desert Palace small, then come over and do the checks Tyler just did for your flute.
Boulder does head into the basement to get his other required medallion.
Yeah, and at that point, Boulder will basically be in key mode, most notably the second castle tower small, but also needing a variety of big keys, one more small key for Turtle Rock.
Where does he head after this check? Does he check Turtle Rock, or does he go head to the mire?
I think since you're already up here, when you see this as Bombos, you go over and you at least check the front of Turtle Rock. Because if I remember right, and I'm thinking I am, you can get all the way to the big chests, plus Mimic Cave, plus I think you might be able to do one of the ones like Crystal Roller or one of those. So yeah, you can get a lot of checks here. I think it makes sense why you're right here.
Definitely looks like that's the way the Boulder's heading. Kyler finding his Samaria and his gold sword in the mire shed.
Yeah, and so the question for Tyler here is where he's going to go. Because right now that he's found Samaria, he's already got Bombos, he's got a lot of stuff open for him that he hasn't done. You know, basically all the dungeons that Boulder has completed that Tyler hasn't are on the table, with the exception of Hera and Finishing Swamp, because he doesn't have the hook shot.
The Eastern Big Key in the first check in Turtle Rock.
And that is nice for Boulder, because that does mean he can go ahead and clear Eastern whenever he feels like it. I would guess at this point, before he goes to that area, he would probably like to find either the pod big or another pod small, so he can combo those two in a little bit together.
Definitely, I would think that would be the more preferred play on Boulder's side.
That said, however, I believe the Boulder has not really touched Eastern at all. So that is all the checks in Eastern, plus Saha's pendant, plus a few more in pod. So even if you know you're only going to be dipping pod a little bit, or you expect it because you've only got the one key, that's probably still his most check dense area at this point.
Be definitely very appealing for him. And the big key to Tower of Hera and Chain Chomp Room.
So here's the question. Do you think about going back and doing that once you finish this up? Or at least get as far as you can here in Turtle Rock?
I think if to my thought process, I'm already up here. I'm not going to really come back and check it before I'm coming back up here to go for Ganon's Tower. I would probably check it before heading to the eastern area, but
and the Boulder choosing to steal that key, looks like, which means he is abandoning the lava chest. Though at this point, with the amount of items you have left, I do see where that makes a lot of sense. You know, the odds of you getting caught by that are probably not great. So, taking an unfortunate death.
Tyler turning in his mushroom for his map.
That is a spite picked up there.
Refilling as well. Nice play moving on. You may not get back over here anytime soon, even though it's a quick flute.
Yeah, I mean, with flute, it's not that big of a deal, but he was also out of magic at the time because he used it on that fake flute, or fake powder. So makes sense to fill it up, just because that gives you the option, depending on where you decide to go afterwards, that you don't have to worry about, wait, where am I getting magic?
Definitely. Do you think Tyler checks Area 1 before he heads up the mountain?
I don't know. It seems like from his perspective right now, that's definitely not the densest place he's got. Like, his densest option is what he's doing right here, which is almost certainly going to go up and do Turtle Rock.
Definitely go where the chests are, that's for sure. We're getting our first look at the Seed's Mimic Cave. Not much in there. I don't know about you, Rooster, but that was one area of this game that when I played as a kid, I never knew existed till I grew up and started playing it again when I got older.
See, I knew that one existed because, like, I mean, I would always see it on the map when I was walking around in this area. The one thing that I didn't realize as a kid was the portal north of Kakariko Village to get to the Dark World. Every time I thought you just had to go through the hook shot north of the hook shot north of like where you do the kern jump. Every single time I'd hook shot there. Meanwhile, the Boulder getting a small key to pod, so now has, I believe, in addition to the one, now has 2, so can clear quite a bit there. Definitely going to continue to play this out, of course, but
it's just made the eastern pod area that much more enticing, depending on what he finds through his last few checks here. Tyler picks up his eastern big key.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know, since he's got all those checks in clearable crystal or clearable eastern, plus a bunch in pod. I really don't know what he would find here that would send him somewhere else.
No, it definitely seems like the direction he's going to head for sure. Especially after that find of another pod small.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only other argument you could make, since you have everything you need to finish Meyer, is maybe you go Meyer first, hoping to find the pod big, so then you can basically full clear pod and save yourself a double dip. Or I guess at this point it would be a triple dip of it.
Boulder heading back to Hera?
That's what it looks like. I would guess probably going to do the Hera big that he skipped earlier, and then maybe Spike Cave right afterwards.
Tyler finds his big for Hera. Be appealing after he comes out of Turtle Rock. Oh, Hookshot Cave.
Ah, that makes sense. I had thought Boulder had done... I knew he'd done the first one, but I thought he had come back and cleared this front as well. And there is the second Castle Tower small. That is really bad for Tylersalt, because that means that Tyler will probably put off doing those front chests just for without the keys.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. What a seed. Force you to go into Aga to get the hook shot to get the second Aga key.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, it looks like Tyler is almost certainly going to show off our probably Hera big, and then also... Well, Tyler can actually finish Hera, because Tyler did not have hook shots, so he's got all the checks here in Hera, and then probably do Spike Cave afterwards, I would guess. Meanwhile, the Boulder going to finally get his bad news about the big key here, which at this point we know has to be one of the required ones.
Which one is it, Arista?
I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be like desert. That's my guess. What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing, and then I was thinking that the pod big key is probably sitting in Meyer somewhere.
Okay, so Tower of Medallions. All 3 of them in there.
Definitely. Can't recall if I've ever seen that before.
However, it is worth noting that because that was a medallion and not something you actually need, that was an optional Quake medallion, that means the Boulder, who would probably not get up there for quite a while, is not going to be hurt by the fact he's basically isolated that big chest.
Yeah, it definitely plays into the Boulder's favor for sure. So he's making the climb up Ega 1 with the gold sword.
Meanwhile, it looks like Tyler's going to try to pay off that big key by clearing Eastern, which makes a lot of sense from his perspective. You know, it's a clearable dungeon. It's something you know you have to do. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't think there's anything here that could really bail him out, because even if there is something, you know, like a key here that Boulder is going to need, that would actually probably be bad for Tyler, because it would push him further away from getting his hook shot that we know is in the front of Castle Tower.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the direction you'd want to head for sure.
With the way this seed is gone, I'm guessing we're gonna have 6 balls here on Boulder's side. What do you think?
I will go with. I'll be generous and go with 4. Get your guesses in chat if you want to guess on the amount of blue balls we're about to see. Tyler's side heading back to fight Armos with those silver arrows. 1 arrow per, even when the last one turns red.
Yeah, and just getting the map of Pod for his troubles. What was the count there?
I lost count, actually. I was hoping you had it. Maybe someone in chat can help us out.
I want to say it was at least 4, but yeah, I lost count. I was watching Tyler's fight. Meanwhile, Tyler's going to show us what's on Green Pendant, which is just Saha's pocket change.
It was nice of him to give him his lunch money, though.
Yeah, and we finally get to find out what this big key that's been taunting us all the time. Looks like
Tyler's going to open up.
Yeah, Tyler's going to open up Meyer here.
Oh. It's a Ganon's Tower big key.
Yeah, so I guess the question now is, where are the Pod and Desert Palace big keys?
Yeah, definitely. Are they in Meyer? Is one of them actually in Pod?
I mean, at this point, since I believe one of them could still be a pendant, it's possible that big key is in Ganon's Tower.
Very possible. Magic powder on Tyler's side.
Which, in case you're joining us late, both runners did fake powder. So powder's always a nice safety to have, but not really doing anything for him checks-wise.
Tyler's going to check cutscene chest, give his fingers a little break here for approximately about 30 seconds. Boulder just playing follow the leader through mire so far. As Tyler entered here first. Another safety cape. Very nice piece of tech with the door state extension on Tyler's side. You don't see that very often. Nicely executed.
Yet another small key to pod. So at this point, once Boulder finishes out, I'll be surprised if we don't see the pod Eastern combo out of him. He cannot finish pod, but he'll be going in with he'll have 4 small pods, basically everything to clear everything except for Helma, and the big chest. So with all those checks, it'd be surprising if he decides to go anywhere else.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Seems like the direction that the seed's telling him to go.
Meanwhile, we're going to have a couple minutes here for the Spaceman of Mire. Thank you all for watching here on the Link to the Past Randomizer League, ALTTPR League 2 channel. My name is Arusta. Co-commentator today is TJ Jaw. Will WC is helping run the restreams behind the scene. Thanks to him as well. And our tracker Yoinker's wife. If you like what you see, definitely give our runners here a follow. Tylersalt and the Boulder 300. We're about an hour and a half in. Looks like the Boulder has a bit of a lead here, which if you joined us late is primarily because Boulder had stolen the key from the back of Desert Palace and used it to pick up Flute on the right side of Desert, and that allowed him to route in a lot of things much, much more quicker and efficiently than Tyler was able to.
It's definitely the Feast or Famine move making a difference, as Tyler showed off Spooky Glitch going through the mire basement. Always another little handy piece of tech if you can pull it off and make it work.
Yeah, and one thing that Chad is pointing out that is worth noting, thanks to Vortex of Doom for pointing this out, is that Tyler did open up the lava chest, which at his perspective did make a lot of sense because, he was really looking for items at the time. But that does mean he's going to need all 4 TR smalls. Whereas I believe Boulder, since Boulder did steal the lava key, only needs 1 more to get from Laser Bridge to Trinex. And he actually had picked up that small key. So if he's willing to abandon laser or lava chest, Boulder can basically finish off TR whenever he wants.
Definitely thanks to Vortex for pointing that out. Another Ganon Tower small on Vitreous. 6 dungeons complete on the Boulder side. The play has to be the Pod Eastern combo, I would guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to note, and this was pointed out a while back by our tracker Yoinker's wife, is that Tyler had also used the small key in Skull Woods to save himself some time in front, like the guaranteed small key that's on the under the skull in the middle. So Tyler actually can't finish can't finish Skull Woods until he finds another small key somewhere, which we have not seen. There are a bunch of Skullwood Smalls in the pole. We just haven't seen them, so who knows where they're hiding.
Yeah, definitely. Tyler going to show us the bumper ledge check. Which is one of those Skullwood Smalls that you were just talking about.
Absolutely, and I would be surprised if we don't see Tyler try to pay that off right here.
Gonna see Eastern first on the Boulder side. He's gonna, since he hasn't touched Eastern yet, he's hoping maybe he'll stumble across the Pulse big key, Pod big key in here. We know he won't, but I like this play doing this dungeon first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know you have to do it. It's a quick mirror, so it doesn't. I mean, it costs you literally 0 time. It has basically 0 downside and a huge potential reward if you get the Pod big here. So, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a smart call.
Definitely. As Vortex pointed out in chat, Tyler is really trying everything to only single dip Castle Tower, which, hoping you stumble across something else and for 2 checks potentially, I can't blame him. For sure, it's definitely not the most appealing option.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things at this point. He is undoubtedly hoping he finds that second Castle Tower small, so then he can route that in. Tyler is aware there's a big key on there, so even if it wasn't all dungeons, he would know he'd probably want to do that sooner rather than later, but going to put it off until he finds that second Castle Tower small.
Definitely makes quick work of the Moth with his gold sword.
Yeah, as our restreamer Will is pointing out in chat, when Tyler went into Hyrule Castle, it was super early before he had Master Sword, so he couldn't go up there. And then when he went in through Pyramid, he didn't have Mirror, so he couldn't route it in then. So it's pretty much, if you're going there for that, you're going there just for those 2 checks at this point.
Yeah.
Which we know he has to. Yeah. Unfortunately, we know he has to because he will not get the second Castle Tower small key because it is hookshot locked. But from his perspective, it definitely makes sense to continue putting it off.
Definitely not the most appealing, that's for sure. Tyler heading up to perhaps do Spike Cave?
Yeah, at this point, I assume it has to be Spike Cave because he's cleared out pretty much everything he can do. I think he did pick up an extra TR small at some point, so he could do part of TR here as well, but he's already dipped it once and already cleared about half of it, so that's probably not a huge something that he's just really enthusiastic to do. And at this point, I'm thinking we're going to find the pod big in pod itself.
It's definitely looking that way. That's for sure. Really running out of options of where else it could be.
And there's that fourth TR small, which the Boulder already had the keys he needed, but now if he decides to go up to TR, he will be able to do lava chest should he choose to.
As our restreamer points out in chat, if he hovers Hookshot Cave, it'll work out great, but he is 99.9999% sure that he cannot, or he does not hover.
As one of Tyler's teammates. Oh, there you go. There's the big key to pod. And as one of Tyler's teammates, yes, Tyler does not hover. I think he does know Moldorm bounce if he has to for in those rare cases for Moldorm 2, but I am pretty sure he does not hover.
Pretty standard pod play out here on the Boulder side at this point, I believe. Just head to the back. Take care of Helmosaur.
Yeah, at this point, really, all he's looking for is the Desert Palace Big. So, if he doesn't find it on Helma, I would be surprised if he doesn't immediately dip back for the Vanilla Big Key Chest, which is why he's at 12 out of 14.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a good option for him. Then pod is completely done. Nothing sitting in the back of your mind. He has all the keys anyway, so.
And it is worth noting, I think we've mentioned this before, that we don't actually know if Desert is a pendant or a crystal. So if pod here is a pendant, that is actually his 7th pendant. So that would mean the Desert Palace Big could be in GT. And at this point, I mean, I would, like we were saying, I would dip right back in for the Vanilla Big Key Chest here. But if that's not the answer, I would probably go straight to GT if you can.
Yeah, it seems like the definitely the direction to head. 17 hits with the hammer to break Helmosaur's mask. With gold sword and silver arrows, won't be much of a problem after that. I don't know about you, Arista, but when I first started playing this game, I always just used bonds on Helmosaur. Didn't occur to me that the hammer would work.
Oh, it absolutely, same here. At least when I played it as a kid. then when I played it as an adult, having played a bunch of other Zeldas, I'm like, oh, every Zelda gives you the item in the dungeon that you're supposed to use on the boss. The mirror shield and, Ocarina of Time, like that spinner thing in Twilight Princess, etc. So I'm like, I should try this.
Yeah. Completely have to agree on that one. A few rage slashes on Tyler's side.
Yeah, I think at this point the question is where Tyler would even go if he's not, if he's still sticking to avoiding Castle Tower, because he's kind of running low on options here. But he does have Odd. Okay, looks like he is going to Castle Tower here because he's already cleared out everything else in this area. And I would guess we will probably see some rage slashes once he sees that hook shot there.
And who could blame him, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
As chat pointed out, we were talking about bombs on Helmasaur. Yes, that was the Nintendo Power strat, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what they told you to do.
Yeah, and so Desert is a crystal. So the question is, basically at this point, it's probably either on Trinex itself or on Pyramid Fairy, as our tracker Yoinker's wife correcting me a little bit there, because we had seen it on his map. So which means at this point I can spoil the Ganon's Tower guessing game for you. The number of chests they open will almost certainly be 0. Meanwhile, Tyler getting the hook shot on his side. Gonna go over and finish Swamp here. Unfortunately, the amount that he's last location that, he's quite a bit behind here.
All paying off to one gamble early in the race. Boulder is going to check Lava Chest on his way through. The dungeon's fully complete.
Yeah, because Boulder does have an extra key, so it only makes sense to knock it out here.
Tyler heading straight for the back.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's already done the front. But, I mean, at this point, having seen that, you have to feel way behind, so I would be surprised if we don't see him start making some gambles.
Boulder just moving through TRs as steady as she goes. Get back and give us our Trinex fight. See what Trinex is holding for us.
With Gold Sword, you get the fun Try-N-X fight where you just crush him, no questions asked.
It's always very satisfying. Tyler makes quick work of Vargas on his side for another crystal. So that begs the question, where is the desert big?
I mean, at this point, I have to say it's on Pyramid Ferry because I don't know where else they have available. I think they've pretty much cleared everything. On Boulder's side, it could also be... We know it's not, but on Boulder's side, it could be PED because Boulder has not checked that, but Tyler had actually checked that with the book before. And it could also be, as our restreamer Will is pointing out in chat, it could also be on the Thieves Town Big Chest, because I don't believe either runner went back and checked that.
No, I don't believe either runner did.
But I do like the Boulder's play here to go for the 2 guaranteed items first.
Definitely the smarter play. You don't have to make the long walk back into a dungeon if you don't have to.
Yeah, especially since if Boulder is thinking about the path he took to get through there, there's no way your opponent got there itself. Like, he left the TT Big Key just like you did.
Yeah.
Taking the opportunity to check his bottles and dump out that B. Good strategy there. There we go.
There it is.
So at this point, at 1 hour and 52 minutes, the Boulder is officially in go mode. Going to go straight to the back of Desert, climb Ganon's tower, and then straight to the Big Pig.
It's definitely an interesting seed. Wanted you to do a few things that aren't always part of the norm. Nice hammer jump over on Tyler's side. Both of our runners just work through their respective dungeons. Tyler's definitely going to hit the other few checks through pod. We know that he's not going to stumble on anything more in here, but at this point, you've got to be thorough enough and hope maybe your opponent's made the same mistake.
Yeah, especially since on Tyler's side, he needs the Desert Palace big, and we know where it's at on the chest, but on Pyramid Ferry, but from his perspective, it really doesn't make sense to skip stuff on the way that you're walking past.
Definitely makes a lot of sense to get everything before you head back for Helmasaur. Boulder's just going to flute up the mountain, head for his GT climb.
Yeah, and at this point with 16 hearts, blue mail, silvers, tempered, half magic, and basically he's got all the safeties he needs, so I would be surprised if he even wastes time to check a single chest in here.
No, I think it's going to be a blitz through as well.
Especially since he does have 3 small keys already, and of course the big key. So you actually don't even need to worry about the normal, mini Helma key that you would have to worry about in a normal seed. You can even skip that, save yourself a couple seconds there too.
I'll take this chance while our runners are moving through if you like what you see, please give both the Boulder and Tylersalt a follow. Special thanks to Will WC for running the restream behind the scenes, and our tracker, Yoinker's Way, for keeping Arusta and I in line. Tyler heading up the mountain. Do you feel that he checks hookshot first?
Yeah, I definitely. Well, since he's already, I think you don't. I think you do hookshot. You do Trinex first, just in case Trinex happens to have your big key, because then you're done. But I mean, you definitely do hookshot before bailing out, just checking Pyramid Fairy. But if you do Trinex first and he has your big key, it saves you the time to do Hookshot Cave. So I think that would be the more efficient way.
Good call. Boulder moving through the gauntlet. Again, tower climb, gold sword, blue mail, 16 hearts. He's not going to worry about this too much. Just business as usual. See your rage slash on Tyler's side as he did check hookshot and find his castle tower key.
Yeah, Vortex of Doom pointing out in chat that Tyler was also still looking for the Castle Tower small. So in that case, yeah, it does make sense to check Hookshot Cave, first, because you're looking for 2 things rather than just 1.
Definitely never didn't think of it that way. Thanks to Vortex for pointing that out.
Very nice Wiz Ropes 2 room there by Boulder.
Very clean. Boulder making quick work of Moldorm too with that sword.
Oh, very nice triple there on that first cycle.
2 triples, wow.
That was a fantastic Agate 2 fight there by Boulder.
Just beautiful. Tyler gives us one of those blink and you miss it Trinex fights, which are always very satisfying.
All right, and get your GGs in chat for Boulder, finishing up Ganon. And Boulder finishing with an official race time GG time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 26 seconds. Or excuse me, 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 19 seconds. And we can also say, as you can see, Tyler pausing on his side. He just saw that Boulder finished, and so Tyler went ahead and forfeited at this spot. So I believe we will be joined here in a second by both of them for an interview. And we are joined by Tylersalt and Boulder. GG's to both of you, and congrats on Boulder for the win.
GG, thank you.
GG's, guys. That was quite the race.
Yeah, it was interesting to see it. I wish I would have executed better, but I'm not necessarily complaining considering I won anyways. I don't know. My brain is fried.
Yeah,
Might have been the nicest fight I've ever seen, so well done on that one.
Yeah, it's like only like the third time I've ever gotten a double triple on Aga. So I mean, I guess I had one thing going for me there at the end, but I wasn't happy with a lot of my execution through that race. But oh well.
Yeah, probably the biggest difference, especially early on, the biggest difference is you had decided to, steal that key from Desert. What was your thinking there?
I almost didn't do it, but I'm like, you know what? At worst case, I'll save scum the key. We'll go check over there. I wanted to make sure I checked Agana's cave as well. And I mean, if there's nothing in any of those spots, then we just save quit. No harm, no foul. And then found the flute. I'm like, well, guess I'm keeping the key. So luckily, I was able to find the actual Desert Small key shortly after that, so it wasn't something that was on the back of my mind the whole time.
Yeah, definitely, and that was one of the big things that's, like I said, you getting that flute early allowed you to route in things a little more nicely. I think Tyler is just doing some getting ready for his interview here, doing some stuff on his side. But the other thing that I think really helped you out was that you had gotten that Castle Tower dip fairly early and gotten hook shot quite a bit early. So then Tyler had unfortunately ended up doing a lot of like front of swamp without hook shot, which no one loves. Had ended up having to do some extra dips of dungeons, etc. So what was your
yeah,
take there?
wasn't great. Sorry, I'm here now.
GG, Tyler.
GG Boulder.
Yeah, the Ega 1 play, like, I really wanted to find the second key before going in there as well, but I had a practice seed earlier this week that hookshot was in that very same chest, so I'm like, you know what are the chances of it happening again? And sure enough, it's just like, there it is.
Yeah, I know. I avoided that like the plague because I saw the big key on Lumberjack, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm probably gonna need that.
Yeah, had I known that was there, I probably wouldn't have made the dip into Ega either.
Exactly.
So I can't blame you one bit.
I put it off until the last possible second, which turned out to be way too late. So there you go.
Yeah, I was really hoping, like, my biggest fear through a lot of that is I just kept putting off Eastern. I'm like, I don't want to do Eastern. Even though I had the early bow, I'm like, big key's got to show up sometime, and I just kept putting it off, hoping that there was nothing there. And luckily that play panned out for me. But I can definitely agree with not doing Ega Castle Tower if you knew you're gonna need to beat it to get a big key anyways.
Also, accidentally opening the lava chest door didn't feel good either. That was with 2 keys going into TR. I was like, I mean, it cost me time because I ended up, I was going to end up needing to double dip it anyway, but then I triple dipped it, so that was great. So,
yeah, that's actually something. If you go back and watch the VOD or re-chat, like, that was definitely something that we were discussing a little bit, is the fact that, opening that thing meant that you missed Lava Bridge and missed a bunch of checks there.
Yeah, that was like a combination of just being too close to the door and NMG practice muscle memory, because I've been doing a bunch of that lately, and so just a momentary lapse in concentration. It's like, crap. So
muscle memory is a killer thing at points in this game, and it kept tapping into me tonight where I just would take my mind off of what I was actually doing, and then just all of a sudden, like, oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back.
Yeah, absolutely. Either of you have any final thoughts on the seed?
No, good riddance is all I have to say. And GG to the Boulder.
The Boulder
takes down the blind bandit for once.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing you put that as your file name, so thank you for doing that.
Of course.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you both for letting us come. It was a good race. You should definitely both watch it back. Just looking forward. So that was, I believe, the last one here on the Open League for tonight. I believe our next randomizer opportunity sometime tomorrow. Please keep an eye. Yes, thank you. Thank you to our restreamer for pulling that up. We'll probably have a bunch of races tomorrow, both from the Open League and then also the Invitational League, which will probably be restreamed. I think a lot of them, as you can see, have not yet been resolved where exactly they're being restreamed. So as always, keep an eye on the ALTTPR League channel. My name was Arusta, and my co-commentator today was TJ Jall. Thank you to Yoinker's wife for doing all the tracking, keeping us in line, as well to Will WC for managing the restream.
Yes, thank you very much for the restream.
And then also, just as an update on the playoff standings, since they won tonight, they are still in line for potentially getting the second seed. Will Pulp Head for Food now has, I believe, 18 points and is basically, if they win 2 of their last 3 races, they can sort of make it into a tie for second. I don't know unfortunately, I don't know offhand how the tiebreakers work out. So, but they are still in contention here. So
Timp is playing spoiler tomorrow night, huh?
yes, because both these teams are again playing tomorrow night. It is Timp versus, I believe, Hacksaw tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye on standards.
That's at 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
Gladly hand it off to my brother in the squared circle, Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, to go hopefully carry us to another playoff win.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming, and have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, GG again.